So in these 15 minutes, I will try to cover the topic what metal is, the structure of the metals, how do they look under this topic. I think these are the two main points I'm going to cover today. Okay. So let's start it. What metals are? Metals, when I say the word metals, what does come to your mind? But in chemistry, how we define metals? Metals are those substances which are made up of the atoms which are tightly packed, and there are no spaces between them, and there are strong attractive forces between them. So what are those attractive forces which is holding these metal atoms together? Those are called as metallic bonds. So after listening to this definition, some confusion comes and the mind gets heavy. Oh my God, what is that? What is this metallic bond, positive ion, and what is this lattice of positive ions surrounded by clouds of delocalized electrons? These are quite heavy words. So to understand that, let's go further. Here you can see on the screen two diagrams. One is in which the many balls are piled up over each other to show that these are the atoms. These round balls are the atoms, and they are tightly packed, and they are packed in a very regular manner in the form of the layers. So when the pressure is applied, these layers slide. That's what we are going to discuss tomorrow. So just for now, you need to understand that metals are the solid and the heavy substances in which metal atoms are packed together by a strong attractive forces. Now, what are those strong attractive forces? Those are the metallic bonds. How are they formed? In these metal atoms, the valence electron get free of the attraction of the nucleus and start roaming and start moving among the spaces between these atoms. If you see how my cursor is rolling between the spaces of the metal atoms, then you realize no doubt these metal atoms are tightly packed, but still there are some spaces between them, and these electrons which get free from each and every metal atom start moving freely between these spaces, between these positive atoms. We know that whenever the metal loses, whenever any atom loses an electron, becomes positively charged. So when these metal atoms will lose the electron, a positive charge will appear on these metal atoms. So now they become positively charged metal ions. So here it is written, metal is an element that readily forms positive ion cation. Now you got this line? Got this line?
Yes.
Okay, great. So what next? When these positively charged metal ions, after they have lost their valence electron, these valence electrons are now a part of the whole lattice. This is called a lattice, where the ions are arranged regularly in the form of the layers. That is called as a lattice. So if you see this labeling, that is a metal ions, and these are the free electrons from the outer shell of the metal atom. So the atom will lose the electron from the outer shell, right? So now this electron is not a part of a single atom, but it is a part of the whole lattice. Okay, now I'm going back and we'll read the further. In chemistry, a metal is an element that readily forms positive ions and has metallic bond. Metals are sometimes described as a lattice of the positive ions surrounded by a cloud of delocalized electron. So now this cloud of delocalized means the mobile electron. Delocalized means that electron is not local to one atom only, but now it has become free. It has formed a cloud of electron over the whole lattice. Now you understand that definition? Going further, now we are defining the metallic bond. Now see in this diagram that these are the metal structures where the metal atoms are tightly held and have zero spaces. They just vibrate. They have strong attractive forces. And when we move further, what we see? we see that these metal atoms have lost their valence electron and now they have become the positively charged metal ions, and the electrons have become delocalized and mobile. Now there is a force of attraction between the oppositely charged ions, like the negatively charged electron and the positively charged metal ions. Now this force is basically a metallic bond. If you see a more clear diagram where positively charged metal ions are surrounded by a sea of mobile delocalized electron. So these are the positively charged metal ions which are surrounded by the sea of, it forms like a sea. In the sea we see water. So these electrons are basically representing water, and these positive metal ions are representing the fish. So this fish is floating in the sea of water, in the sea of electron, mobile electron. So you will you will frequently hear that word, the sea of mobile electron, in this topic or under this discussion the whole week, because whenever we are going to answer the questions, then we are going to use the word the sea of mobile electron. So you can use, if you find this word difficult, delocalized electron, you can use the word sea of mobile electron. That is absolutely fine. So these are the sea of delocalized electron or the mobile electron, and these are the positively charged metal ion. So how we will define the metallic bond? Metallic bond is an electrostatic force of attraction between positively charged metal ions and negatively charged mobile electrons. So I'm going to wrap up this lecture today. Today in our discussions, we discussed what metals are and what is the structure of the metals. In the structure of the metals, we discussed what metallic bond is. We were introduced to the two new terms, the positively charged metal ions and the negatively charged mobile or the delocalized electron, whatever the word you want to use, that's absolutely fine. So they both are having the same meaning, the mobile or the delocalized electrons. So in that, we discussed metals as the elements that readily forms the positively charged ions, which we call cations, and have a metallic bond. And then we discussed sometimes metals are called as the lattice of the positively charged ions surrounded by the cloud of delocalized electrons. So if the question you need to answer is what metals are, so you can write any one of these two definitions. You can write the metals are the elements that readily form positively charged ion and has metallic bond, or you can write the metals are sometimes described as I was just trying to make them two definitions. So even you can write metals are sometimes described as a lattice of the positive ions surrounded by the cloud of the delocalized electron. So okay. What are metals? The next, we discussed the structure of the metals, in which we discussed that how metal atoms are arranged, and then we discussed what metallic bond is.